So Paul Krugman has written an incredibly thoughtful and useful essay on what goes on at the New York Times. Now, Krugman was an opinion columnist at the New York Times for a good 25 years before he left. And this is what he had to say. He writes first and foremost about how he was largely left alone, but he writes this: newspaper columns should be controversial, rubbing some people the wrong way because the main point is to get people to rethink their assumptions. I used to say only half jokingly that if a column didn't generate a large amount of hate mail, that meant that I had wasted the space. Yet what I felt during my final year at the Times was a push towards blandness, towards avoiding saying anything too directly in a way that might get people, particularly on the right, riled up. I guess my question is, if those are the ground rules, why even bother having an opinion section? If those are the ground rules, why even bother having an opinion section? If those are the ground rules, why even bother having a newspaper? We're all rightfully criticizing media right now for not declaring that Elon did a Nazi salute, including the New York Times. But this message of suppression, this message of tampering with a writer's words like this has been going on before the 2024 election. It's not new. They've been building up to this. They've been putting it into practice. And Krugman had to free himself of the yoke of the New York Times in order to actually speak what was on his motherfucking mind. And I think that Krugman has identified a major failing of media right now. It's why Jim Acosta was pushed out. It's why the New York Times continues to play both sides on certain articles. When you remove the apparatus of critical thinking for the American people, are they going to critically think anymore? When you deliberately avoid controversy, maybe you might make some of this audience a little sketchy or antsy or worried to be thinking about things they should be thinking about, but that are controversial.